All righty, let's get going. It is the final game of the Six Nations 2022. It is France going for the Grand Slam, taking on England, of course. Stream's about to start very, very soon. Please do hit the like button if you just joined. Subscribe if you're watching on YouTube. If you're on Facebook or Twitch, give us a like and a follow. Vote in the poll on YouTube on who you think is going to win the game tonight. All right, let's get going. Let's see who's going to win this one. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome in. Hope you're all doing well this evening. Welcome along to the watch along. It is the final watch along of the Six Nations. It is France going for the Grand Slam, taking on England. We've already done Italy against Wales. We've already done Ireland against Scotland. And now focus, of course, turns to the final game of the Six Nations. As I said, it's France against England. France going for the Grand Slam. England looking to avoid losing 3 games in the Six Nations for the second year on a bounce. Pressure potentially on Eddie Jones. And we are all set for this game here. Hope everyone is doing well. Let me know where you're watching from in the chat. And of course, Let me know your predictions. Vote in the poll. Let me know what you think. It's me, the dude. We're ready for some England domination. Let's wait and see. Groovy music. Glad you enjoyed the music. Come on, England. Martin back in England, of course. There's a lot riding on this game. Ireland got the job done against Scotland, getting a bonus point win. They know that if France were to slip up today, that they would be crowned Six Nations champions after being crowned Triple Crown champions, of course, this week. So they'll be very much looking forward to this one and believing that England can do a job for them, of course, as always. Let me know your thoughts in the chat and let me know how you think this game is going to go. We will, of course, have a chat about the other games over the course of the stream, I'm sure. But it's going to all set to being a great game to finish off. What has been a really interesting Six Nations, if I can say that. I think it's been, a really interesting one. It probably hasn't gone the way that we all would have expected in terms of some teams. We maybe expected more from England, maybe more from Wales, Italy getting a win, and now France potentially going for the Grand Slam, although they've been knocking at the door for a while. Let's have a look at what the poll is saying. It's actually not too dissimilar, really. France, 62% people back in France to win, 38% back in England to get the win today. So let me know, who are you backing this evening? Do let me know who you think is going to get the win this evening. Should be a good one. Should be a good one. Right, let's have a chat then about last week. Of course, France went over to Cardiff and won in Cardiff, winning that one by 13 points to 9. Anthony Jalonc getting the only try of the game. It wasn't a great performance from France, but the big thing for France, I think, was that it's a performance of a team who knew how to win despite not playing particularly well. They got the job done, didn't they? And that was really, really impressive from the French. In terms of England, well, they had a bit of a trickier tie. They took on Ireland. Of course, things got really difficult as Charlie Earls was sent off in only 82 seconds into the game. And they ended up losing that one in the end by 32 points to 15. In terms of recent results, though, England do have the dominance in this competition. Last season, they faced each other pretty much around the same time last year, actually. England winning that one, the Maro Itoje try. England winning that by 23 points to 20. The game prior to that saw England winning in the Autumn Nations Cup final. But if you remember, France played like the third team for that one, but England won that by 22 points to 19. Prior to that, France won this one. The last time France beat England in this competition was 2 years ago, beating England by 24 points to 17. The game prior to that saw England smashing France by 44 points to 8, while the game prior to that one, France won by 22 points to 16. England haven't beaten France at the Stade de France since 2016, where they won that one by 21 points to 31. So that is how both teams are coming into this one. We will take a look at the teams, of course, and you can let me know your thoughts. If you have just joined us, by the way, if you're on YouTube, hit the like button, subscribe. If you're on Facebook or Twitch, make sure to get involved in the comments there and hit the like button as well. And we will have a look at the teams now. They are really creating a scene at the Stade de France, aren't they? And it's a huge moment for France. It really is. It's an opportunity for them to really put their name in the hat, if it's not already in the hat, for the World Cup, which is going to be in France in 18 months' time. So they really are pointing their claim, aren't they? They're all set for that one. I'm really excited for this one. France are coming out. England are already out. There are fireworks. The mobile torches are on. What an atmosphere as France and England come out together, which is an interesting call from them. But this is it. Can France win the Grand Slam for the first time in 12 years? For a team like France to not win it in 12 years is crazy, really. It really is crazy. Both teams are out, so let's run through the side that have been selected. First of all, the team selected by Fabien Galtier. This is the team that he has decided to go with. Apologies if I butcher any pronunciations. Jaminet plays at fullback. Damien Penaud is back in the team after recovering from COVID. Villiers plays on the wing alongside Jonty and Ficou in the centre. Dupont, of course, is captain at 9 with Untermac, Roman Untermac playing at 10. In the front row, we have Cyril Bay alongside Marchand and Antonio. Woki and Willems playing the locks. with Gross, Aldrit, and Jelonk playing in the back row, leaving a bench then of Malvaca, Gross, Hawass, Taufafreda, Flemon, Cretan, Luku, and Ramos. So let me know your thoughts on that French team in the comments, in the chat. Let me know. It is indeed Gavin. Thank you very much for pointing that out. I look like a right tit. Thank you. Thank you for pointing that out. You pointed that out as 7:53. That's been sat there for a good minute. So thank you for pointing that out. They are, of course, taking a moment, and we should mention this. We have to mention this news. Really, really sad news today that we got about former Argentina back Martin Aramburu, who, of course, played in France for Perpignan, for Stade Francais. He was involved in all of that, but sadly, news broke today that he was actually shot dead in Paris today. He also played for Glasgow Warriors as well, and it's just a really, really sad situation. They're also showing solidarity for Ukraine, for the situation there, and I absolutely agree with that. I absolutely stand with that. And I never let politics really come into the channel, but I think something like this is really important to point out. So we stand with Ukraine, absolutely. So we've had a look at the France team. Let's take a look at the England team. This is how they line up tonight. Starting off with the backs then on the left of your screen. George Furbank starts at fullback. He comes into the team. Freddie Stewart goes to the wing with Jack Noel on the opposite wing. Joe Marchant and Henry Slade playing the centres, while Ben Youngs and Marcus Smith play at 9 and 10. In the front row, we got Ellis Genge partnering Jamie George and Will Stewart. Cal Sinclair's on the bench. Maro Toje then plays in the lock alongside Nicky Saku. Of course, Charlie Ewells is out and suspended. Courtney Laws captains the team at 6, alongside Sam Undale, who comes in for the injured Tom Curry, and Sam Simmons plays at 8. This is the bench then of England. The front row options are Dick Doley, Joe Marler, and Cal Sinclair, with Ollie Chesham and Alex Dunbrand completing the forward options. Harry Randall is a scrum half option. You've got George Ford as the fly half option, then Elliot Daly can, of course, play in the centre or the back three. Those are the teams. We're all set. We're going to hear Le Massier in a minute, and I'm sure there'll be a hell of an atmosphere there for it. Just turn it down a bit. And my word, it is pretty raucous there. Folks, if you're just joining and you're expecting to be able to see the game, unfortunately, I cannot show you the game due to copyright issues. It is live on ITV in the UK. So if you're in the UK, it's free to watch. You can watch it there. This is just a watch on. You can get involved in the comments. You can let me know your thoughts. And of course, we can have a conversation about what's happening and react to it as it happens together. So if you thought this was going to be me actually showing the game, I can't do that. I'm not allowed to. But if you want to stick around, massively appreciated. Do like the stream, of course, if you're on YouTube. I know a few of you watching it over on the 3 bod pages. So welcome to you all. Let me know who you'd like to win. I'm sure Irish fans, for the first time ever, going to be supporting England, which will be interesting. Quite the atmosphere at the Stade de France. For me, France are the better team. France should win this game. They are the better side. It's whether they can manage the occasion. That is what, for me, is the big thing for this French team. If they can manage the occasion, then I think they win this game. I really do. I think they win this game fairly comfortably, to be honest. But if they can't manage the occasion, and if they can, like we've seen in the past with French teams where they can crumble, they can lose their way a bit, then it could be a very, very long afternoon for this French side. But this is it. Can France know they need to win. Anything but a win gives the title. I think a draw actually, I don't know. Let's have a look. Does a draw give the Six Nations title to France? I don't think it does. I think they need to win. Yeah, France need to win. France need to win. So if France win, they'll go top. Do they need to win by a bonus point? I don't think they need to win by a bonus point, do they? Yeah, absolutely. I agree. I think France have been the best team in the competition, haven't they? And they deserve to win it. But I think the big thing for them is managing the emotions, managing the moments. And, you know, the way England are going to be, they're going to try and be awkward. They're going to try and slow the ball down. They're going to be physical. I just think this France team are going to have too much in attack. I don't think England have enough in attack Because when you play France, you're going to have to score, usually, barring that Wales game, of course, you're going to have to score a few tries. And I think all the pressure is going to be on, all the pressure is on France. But again, can England do Ireland a favour? It's going to be really, really interesting. Vote in the poll. Let me know on YouTube what you think of the game. And if you're on Twitter or Facebook, as I said, let me know what you think of the game as we go along. We're getting the little car to bring the ball out, of course, as always. Jaco Piper is the referee. I'm not the biggest fan of him. To be honest, I'm just not. But we will have to wait and see how he manages the game. Jaco Piper, then Mike Adamson, Frank Murphy as the assistants. Timo's Marius Jonker of South Africa. So you've got two Saffers in charge. Yeah, so French. Yeah, that's what I thought it was. The Frenchman will hand them the championship. Regardless, France are going to get us underway. Roman Ntamack sends the ball up into the Paris sky, and we are underway here. France all set to try and win the Grand Slam. England looking to spoil the party. England claim the ball, and Ben Youngs will have a chance to clear this one downfield. Let me know if you want the background music in or not. If you want me to change it, let me know. Or if you just want me to be talking, do let me know. And it is cleared by Ben Youngs, but kept in touch. France coming forward here through Antonio. Just inside their own half. Dante carries. Really? I'm not sure. Oh, knocked on by Yelonk. And there will be a scrum to England early on here, just inside the French half. I thought in the Wales against Ireland game, I am Welsh, so maybe there's a little bit of red tinted glasses. And yes, we will talk about that game, I'm sure, throughout the course of this watch along. I thought in that opening game, the Six Nations, I thought he got a lot of calls wrong. So I'm not the biggest fan of his. I would rather Wayne Barnes have taken control of this, because he's English, obviously. He can't do that. So scrum to England, just inside the half of France. Massive, massive game. Don't forget, folks, if you're watching on YouTube on BS Rugby, you can support the channel through a super chat. There's no pressure to do that. If you want to support the channel financially, that's a great way of doing it. And you can do that if you'd like to. But as I said, no pressure to do that. We're going to have a nice, lovely reset of a scrum. We are nearly 2 minutes into this first half. And hopefully Ben Youngs can get this one in and away. Solid scrum from both sets of packs, and Ben Youngs does get it out. Gives it into Henry Slade. Marcus Smith puts the little kick through. Someone needs to come across for France. Jaminet does very, very well to come across there. Villiers picks it and goes. They need to remain calm in these situations. They're going to be under pressure at points in this game. There's no doubt in that. England are a quality side, although they haven't fully clicked in attack. So they've just got to play it simple. They've got to play in the right ends. They know that a win tonight will give them the title. That's a hell of a clearance from Antoine Dupont. Wasn't a bad little kick from Marcus Smith, actually, but Jaminet did really well to come across and deal with the situation. And the clearance from Dupont really gives them that distance that they need. So here we go. Line out to England just inside their own half here. First line out of the game, I want to say. Comfortably won. England looking to try some nice little cross kicks here. That one isn't going to work, and that's well left by Jaminet again, noticing that the space was in behind. So line out to France just inside their own half here. The atmosphere is pretty crazy in the Stade de France right now. You can see it. You can see that it's a little bit of tension. France will want to settle into the game, go through a few phases, get settled, maybe get a penalty. Ireland, I wonder why you're supporting England, of course. I think that's the first time most Irish fans will have supported England ever. First touch here for George Furbank, who sends it back down. Plenty of time for Melvin Jaminet. Let's have a look. 4 minutes into this contest. Kick downfield. Bit loose. Here comes Sam Simmons. First chance for him to run. He's ran into his own man. Yeah, first time. England just inside their own half here. Marcus Smith sends it up. I think he's slightly overkicked it, which he has. Jaminet takes it, running into a little bit of trouble here. Needs to be careful. Again, England kicking a lot early on here. They want to put the pressure on France early on. Dupont sends it back down into hands of Marcus Smith. Smith. Once again, they're using Ellis Genge off Marcus Smith a lot, hoping they can get them over the gain line. I don't know if that's a great idea because he's a prop. He's not going to get up to speed, is he? England here, though, really trying to throw the ball about early on here. Ball out wide to Jack Noel on the right-hand side. Tackled well by Dupont. France think they've turned it over, and they have. Great turnover from Gregory Aldrit, and maybe that's the bit that they just needed to settle themselves with the game. It wasn't as if England were dominating the game, controlling the game fully. It was more like France hadn't really settled into the game, hadn't had much possession. I'm not too sure if that's true. What I like about Wayne Barnes is his communication. That's what I really like about him. Of course, what you have to remember is that different refs from different areas of the world are going to referee the game slightly differently by just the way that they interpret it, the way the game is played in their home nation. You know, in South Africa, the game is a lot more physical, a lot more set piece orientated. If you then to go to New Zealand, the game is a lot quicker. It's thrown about a lot more in France as well. It's thrown around a lot more. So it's very different to see how the game is refereed. France do get the line out. It wasn't clean, but they've got it. Lovely hands. Oh, Ficou's dropped it. If Ficou had caught that, I think he might have been in the open there. But France really, 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 really opening this English defence up early on here. Cameron Wackey, it's Aldrit who wins the line out. Fires it out. I think Ficou's in there. I think he's in. Well, he's definitely got Penaud on his left-hand side. And I think that France probably would have scored there. Ficou catches that. But it already just shows how quickly they're able to open up this English defence. I hope Ireland win it, but I would like France, of course. Scrum to England then off that knockout. Knock on, and France win the penalty at the scrum. Huge penalty. Couple of words been said between the players. I think Courtney Law's trying to drag them apart. And a chance here for France. They're going to take the 3. Antoine Dupont points towards the post. I think that's exactly the right thing to do. Get something on the board, calm down a bit, and then you can go from there. But that's positive for France. So they got the dominance. They feel like the scrum. England penalised for collapsing it. Yeah, I think Ellis Genge does go down there. Antonio, huge, huge player, isn't he? Massive guy. Here we go then. Melvin Jaminet with a chance to give France the lead. Let's see if he can do it. Right in front of the post, 10-metre line. Should be a comfortable enough kick for him. And he slots it beautifully through the middle. France take the lead in the 8th minute here. France lead here by 3-0 so far. So good for France. And to be honest, off that one attacking lineup that they had, they opened England up so easily. But just for the knock-on of Gaël Ficou. Maybe a little bit of nerves in that for France from the knock-on there, but taking the points. And I think Dupont, for someone so young, what is he, 24, 25, maybe even younger than that, maybe he's 23. Actually, how old is he? He's got a good rugby brain on him. He knows what to do in the right times. He's 25 years old. And he just went straight away, go for the post, take the points, just get on the board. And that's what France will want to do. France kicked off, they kicked it downfield, but here comes Ellis Genge on his own 10-metre line. Again, they're using Ellis Genge as like a crash ball option. I don't get it. I don't get it. Oh, who's that come off? Knocked on by France on the halfway line. Advantage here to England then. Chance for them. Ben Youngs fires it back to Marcus Smith. Smith into Nicky Saku. I don't know how to say his name. Apologise if I'm butchering some names tonight. Ben Youngs into Courtney Laws. Courtney Laws, good hands into Ellis Genge. Not really making any ground here, England, though. Jack Knoll steps inside, tackled by Antoine Dupont. Good tackle on Simmons. England holding on to the ball here well, clearing well. Back into Marcus Smith, who sends it up. They're looking for the crossfield kick. I think Freddie Stewart is going for it, and he's won it. He's obviously a pretty tall guy. As a good option on the wing. Maybe that's why they've got him on the wing, so they've got an option to go wide, and France win the penalty. At the breakdown is turned over. Who has managed to get the turnover? That is the big question. I think it's Gabian Villiers, the winger, has managed to get the turnover. And it seems at the minute that England's tactic is very much, let's just kick it in the air, try and win the battle in the air. But France very quickly onto the man, trying to get the turnover. The thing about England is I just don't see where their tries come from. From France, they could come. I'm not English. How dare you? I'm not English. I'm Welsh. I'm Welsh. I'm Welsh. It's not been a great day for Welsh versus Welsh lot. But yes, I am Welsh. But I am wearing a French top tonight. I am Welsh. I don't actually have an England top, so the Northampton Saints top over there will have to do. For an Irishman, I'm sure that's pretty difficult to be saying for you. But yeah, it's an interesting one. Look. I just think we're in for a great game. Overthrown by France, but managing to get it back. Did it go forward? Apparently so. Jaco Piper thinks so, and I tend to agree with him there. France maybe overcomplicating things slightly on the line out, so it'll be a chance for England to set something off the scrum. No worries, mate. No worries. Hope you're enjoying anyway. Enjoying the watch along, and let me know who you're supporting tonight. Do let me know. We got various people across all the platforms tonight, so I hope everyone is doing well and enjoying. Get involved in the chat and let me know where you're watching from and who you want to win as well. To be honest, I would like France to win just because I think they've played the best rugby in this competition. I think they've been the best side. And for them to do it at home after 12 years, I think they just played beautiful rugby. Great kick there, looking for the 50-22, but taken pretty well by France. They clear it back downfield. I don't know if France want to get caught in a kicking game. I don't know if that's what they want to get caught in, to be honest. I think England are luring them in to their own way of play here. That's a hell of a kick from Marcus Smith. Jaminet boots it back. France making sure they stay on side. Jack Knoll picks it up. Tackled by Gregory Aldrit. Itoje picks and goes. Aldrit's turned that over. That's a hell of a turnover from Gregory Aldrit. Advantage to France as well here. My word, what a game Aldrit is having already. Advantage here to France. Inside ball to Dante. Dante through the gap. Inside ball. Oh, just knocked on. So a comeback for the original penalty. Already France are really beginning to open this game up. And England, a little bit all over the place in the middle of the park. Straight off the counter there. They get it. They switch it back inside. Brianna's watching from Italy. I'm sure you were very happy with the results earlier today at home in Ireland. Hoping England win, of course. As an Irishman, you'd want that. Admitting what now, Martin? Sorry, I'm a little bit confused on that one. Aldrit's having a hell of a game already. I think he's had 2 or 3 turnovers already. Every time France get the ball off turnover ball, they look like they're going to do something. It's hell of a work by Aldrit's there. Look at this. So the ball comes out here to Untamack. Inside ball to Dante. Oh, who was it? Is it Penaud? It's on Untamack. Can't quite. Oh, Penaud takes it off the hands of Untamack. He needs to let it run. Well, I've always been Welsh. I've always said I'm Welsh. Did you not hear my rant after the Italy game today? Advantage to France, knocked on by England at the line-outs. So chance here for France to play. As Marchand peels off into the 22. Here come France. Untamak, outside ball to Jaminet. Lovely hands. Villiers going to go for the corner here. Has he got the feet? No, tackled about 8 meters short here. Antoine Dupont. Good carry from Willems. Knocked out of the hands of Dupont, but still there for France. Villiers, those 3 dummies. Cameron Waukee, 5 meters short. Dupont into Untamak. The space out wide. Surely if the bounce goes for Ficou. Ficou for the corner. And Ficou has scored for France. And France have scored here. France, after just under 15 minutes of play, have scored in the corner. And really, it was that easy for France. France lead here by 8 points to 0. Gaël Ficou, one of the players who've been there for so long. He's been there for so long. And the wrap around so many times. Ball comes out to Villiers here. He steps inside. He keeps it alive. They go through the phases. And then Untamak with the awareness that there's so many options out wide. Yeah, it's going to be tough. And to be honest, if you're counting on England on beating France, I think it's going to be a tough one. Can't show you the game, I'm afraid. Brandon, good name, by the way. I can't show you the game, I'm afraid, due to copyright reasons. I'm sorry, I can't do that. Hopefully my commentary is keeping you up to date, though, on what is going on. France leading here by 8 points to 0. Gaël Ficou getting the try in the corner. 16 minutes gone. Chance for Melvin Jaminet to add the 2. I honestly think if France get another try, it could get pretty ugly for England. I really do. Not the easiest kick for Jaminet. Let's see if he can get it, though. On the whole, his kicking has been pretty good, I want to say. Is that going to drift inside? And it's not, and he's going to drift wide. So France still 8 points to 0. Giving them a false sense of security. I don't think that's quite the England game plan. But look, we've got to talk about it. France have always historically had this ability to implode, haven't they? We've seen it over the years. As a Welshman, we saw in the World Cup in the quarterfinals when Taoufouéna, was it Taoufouéna? I can't remember. Elbow down and Wainwright in the head, got a red card. They do have this ability to implode, don't they? That would be the concern if you were French, is that can happen. It's a big miss. It could be a big miss indeed. It could. With 17 minutes on the clock, France leading by 8 points to 0. Make sure if you're watching on YouTube to hit the like button, subscribe if you're on Facebook. Of course, please do. Of course, like and follow the page. We're going to continue to do watch-alongs throughout the rest of the domestic season. We tend to focus mostly on URC here on the channel, but occasionally we will dabble in the Premiership, but also, of course, we keep an eye out on all the European big games. England here with a chance to spread it out wide. Joe Marchant. Neil, thank you very much. That's very kind of you. Hope you're doing well and enjoying the game. France, where can I watch the game? If you are in the UK, you can watch it through the ITV hub. If you don't have that, you can get a free VPN and then set your place to being, of course, in the UK. So you can play from there. Penalty to England on the 10-metre line. A silly penalty to give away from a French perspective. And a chance. Do England take the points? I think they do. Yeah, and they're going to take the points. Marcus Smith, right in front of the post, 10-metre line. Yuri Antonio penalised at the breakdown there. I think fans, though, just need to make sure that they don't get overexcited, if you know what I mean. That they remain patient, that they go through the phases, that they play the simple game. They know that in attack, they've got England's number. They've shown that already that they're able to open this England team up at will. I mean, every time they've come forward, they look like they're going to score. So I wouldn't worry particularly about that. And if your defence can hold up, then I wouldn't worry about that. So it's about your discipline then. Can you keep your discipline? Glad you're enjoying it, Eric. Glad you're enjoying it. Yeah, Mark Smith going for the 3 points here. right in front of the sticks. Should be a simple kick. He's doing the Ronaldo technique where he pulls his shorts up. Marcus Smith right in front of the sticks, steps up and slots it straight through the middle. England are on the board. France lead here by 8 points to 3. And we are nearly at the halfway point throughout this first half. 19 minutes and 20 seconds gone. France 8, England 3 so far. Let me change the music. It's getting on my nerves at this point. So Melvin Roman and Tamak, will get us underway. He is a brilliant player, isn't he? I don't think we've seen the best of him in this year's Six Nations, but I think that's really down to the fact that this England team and their attack really hasn't fully clicked yet, and we haven't seen the best of England in attack so far whatsoever. Oh, referee! Oh, do they need to have a look at this? Melvin Jaminet has been taken out in the air by, I think, Jack Nowell. I think they should probably be having a look at this. Let's take a listen to what Jaco Piper is going to say. The question is Jack Nowell going for the ball fully? Is his eyes focused on the ball? He has turned his back on Jaminet. He's turned his back. So as Jaminet's gone to jump, Jack Nowell's ran in and turned his back. Turned his back as he's come in. Don't know. It's a tough call. If I was French, I'd want this to be yellow. If I was English, I'd feel like it's harsh if it's yellow. Being in the middle, I don't know. Let me know in the chat. Martin seems to think it's a yellow. Let me know in the chat. What do you think? Do you think this should be a yellow? There might be other factors involved, though. Dupont does kind of push Jack Nowell slightly into the movement. Does Jack Nowell have enough time to move? Jack Nowell's bumped into Dupont. Oh, I think they're going to penalise France here. Oh, I'm confused. What is going on here? A little bit confused. What is going on here? France penalised. I think Antoine Dupont changed his line. Not sure if I agree with that call, to be honest, but regardless, we move forward. So penalty to England, and that's what you talk about with France, just little things like that. They need to get rid of those little inaccuracies. Chance here for England to send this one down. We are halfway through this first half. If you are watching on YouTube, please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. We're pushing towards 3,000 subs. And of course, if you're on Facebook or Twitch, make sure to give us a follow on there as well. England here offline. Using Ellis Genja as a first receiver is a really weird tactic. I don't get it. Big tackle on Jack Nowell coming in from Gael Ficou. Pushing them back here. England just inside the French half. France's discipline at the breakdown has to be good. Dante clears it. That's a hell of a kick from Dante. What a kick that is from Dante. Hasn't quite managed. Yes, he did manage to reach touch. Question is, did George Furbank put his foot out? I'm shattered. I've done 3 watch-alongs today, Karma Peach. he's an idiot. He's picked the ball out while his foot is in touch. What a stupid play. What a stupid play from George Furbank. His foot is out. The ball is still in field. He picks it up, but his foot is in touch. So he's in touch. So line out here to France, just outside the 22. They win it. They've set up the driving maul here. There's a little bit all over the place. Julien Marchand has peeled off the back. Advantage here to France. So there's 3 points potentially on the way for them. Antoine Dupont into serial by. Big carry from him. Really quick ball here. Antonio on a huge angle. France moving forward, moving through the gears. Gregory Aldrit tries to get the offload to Dupont, but it's been knocked on. But we will come back for the original penalty. Big decision here for France. Do they go to the corner? Do they take the points? I'd be tempted to take the points just to get that little bit more breathing space, just to make it that England needs to go score and get a conversion. It's a big decision. If the angle's tight for Jaminet, though, do you just stick it in the corner? England conceded 5 penalties already in this game. I think that's one thing you can say about this weekend's games, is the discipline has not been great from either team. It looks like Roman and Tamac. Oh no, they're going for the post. It looks like they're going for the post. I think they're going for the post. I think they're going for the post. It looks like it. Jaminet's getting the tee, and they will be going for the post. Thank you, everyone, for joining tonight. Great to have so many of you watching live here. Hope everyone is doing very well and enjoyed the Six Nations. It's been a hell of a tournament, hasn't it? There are 37 people currently watching on YouTube. We've only got 18 likes, so let's see if we can get that up to at least 25 likes. Please do hit the like button, by the way, and help the channel massively. It's free to do. So Jaminet with a chance to extend the French lead, to give them an 8-point lead. I think this is what France need to do. They need to kick their points. They need to keep it simple. Jaminet steps up and puts it through the post, and France extend the lead. France lead here by 11 points to 3. 24 minutes-ish gone. France leading, as I said, by 11 points to 3. The only way I can see France losing this game now is their discipline. If their discipline goes, that is the only way. I don't think this England team has enough in attack to really get at this French side. I just don't see it personally. They have enough. Antoine Dupont has won the ball, and he will look to clear this one from the box kick. George Furbank claims it. Inside here to Sam Simmons. France trying to compete at the breakdown, but sometimes they just need to calm down. Marcus Smith runs with it, tackled well by Cameron Wackey. Henry Slade into Nick Isuku. Ball is there for Ben Youngs, who gets it down to Simmons. Simmons, good hands into Marcus Smith. England just inside the French half here, not really making any meters, and so Marcus Smith sticks it in the air, something that they've tried this evening. Had a little bit of success with it. It's really well taken, though, by Melvin Jaminet, who's really come into his own this Six Nations, hasn't he? Plays for Perpignan, only 22 years old. Antoine Dupont fires it back, and Ntamak will clear it. Has he reached touch? No, he's kept it alive, which is an interesting choice. Chance for Marcus Smith. What's he going to do? He sends it up. It's been chased by Simmons. Oh, it's a really good take by Freddie Stewart in the air for England. England into the 22 here. Mauro Toge acts as scrum half. Oh, he's way too slow getting the ball out. It's good cover defence from France, and they've managed to turn it over. Jelonk has turned it over. Huge turnover, and Antoine Dupont will know the space in behind. As he kicked it out on the full, it's a hell of a kick from Antoine Dupont to get them down the field. My word, France playing themselves into trouble, but then having the ability to turn the ball over. I mean, Antoine Jelonk there, the turnover there that he gets. Don't take anything away from Marcus Smith's kick and Freddie Stewart's chase. It's a lovely take. He actually gets into the 22. But what a turnover from Anthony Jelonk. Itoje just takes too long, though. He gets the ball up. Instead of firing it out, just holds on to it a little bit. Dupont tackles. Jelonk gets on it, turns it over. Potential concern for England here, though. Jack Noel is out. Well, he's down injured, holding his wrist. Manasseh, I'm afraid I can't show you the game live, my friend. Just due to copyright reasons, I'm afraid. I'd love to be able to show you, but I can't, I'm afraid. Yeah, oh, Jack Noel's landed on his left wrist there. That looks pretty painful. I'd love to be able to show you Manasseh, but I'm afraid I'm not allowed to, my mate. It looks like Jack Noel's day is done. I think he's possibly broken his wrist. Or at least sprained it pretty badly. And Elliot Daly's coming on, so you think that Elliot Daly goes to maybe put Furbank on the wing. It is live on ITV in the UK. And if you have if you don't live in the UK, if you get a free VPN, you can set your location to the UK and you can watch it that way. And I'm sure there's other sites that you can use as well. But as I said, I'm not able to show the game because of copyright, but hopefully my commentary keeps you up to date with everything going on. So England clear it. Ben Youngs sends it up. Well won in the air by Jaminet again. France here with potentially a chance to go here. Well taken by Aldrit on the floor. I'm afraid I don't know then. I'm sure there are websites, mate. I'm sure there are websites. Oh, geez. George Furbank puts boot to ball. Not able to catch it, so just booted it. Chance here, though. Jaminet into Villiers. Oh, Villiers dropped it. Villiers dropped it. Hopefully, though, Najal, my commentary keeps you up to date with everything going on. I'm afraid I don't know any websites, Najal. I'm afraid I can't. Lovely step from Jaminet there, though. If you just Google a random postcode. I'm not going to read that comment out, but the comment's there. The comment is there. There you go. I didn't want to say it, CXN, but you said it for me. So, scrum here to England, though. We're heading towards the half-hour mark. In this one, France still leading by 11 points to 3. They are on for the Grand Slam still. Solid scrum from both sides. Ball out here. Elliot Daly, good hands. Oh, half a break from Joe Marchant up to the 10-metre line. Advantage to England as well. Chance here for them. Ben Youngs gets it out. Marcus Smith into Will Stewart. Still playing the advantage. England just outside 22 now. Henry Slade steps inside. Good tackle by Jelonk. Still playing the advantage and will come back for the original penalty. Interesting decision here for England to make. Do they take the points or do they stick this in the corner and back themselves? It's a really big decision for them. 11 points to 3 down, nearly half an hour gone. I don't know what I would do in this situation. Depends how your team are feeling. If you're feeling confident, I think you stick this in the corner. You really giving that as a penalty against Ficou on Henry Slade? I think that's harsh. Dupont covers so much in a game. It's ridiculous just watching him. We're having a little pause here in play. So if you're watching on YouTube, hit the like button, subscribe. It's massively appreciated. It's completely free to do. England have elected to go for the posts. And of course, if you're on Facebook, Twitch, hit the like button, hit the follow button as well. Massively appreciate if you can do that. And tomorrow night, we are probably going to do a fan forum on the YouTube channel where you can come on and have your say on your team's performance in this year's Six Nations. So if you're Welsh, you might want to rant a bit. If you're French, you might want to be really ecstatic. And there we go. Marcus Smith has added the 3. So France lead by 11 points to 6 now. Half an hour gone in this one. 11 points to 6. France, a little bit of ill discipline creeping into their game now. Little silly things that they don't need to be getting involved in. 10 minutes to go until half time. Oh, off England there, but went backwards. Damien Penaud wasn't happy with the push that he felt he got. Ben Youngs clears it though. Chased by Freddie Stewart. Elliot Daly saw it and he gathers it. Tries to offload it. England not helping themselves here. Finally, they get the ball back. Ben Youngs, well, they are getting a lot of success in the air, but Jaminet claims that really, really well for France. On their own 10-metre line here. Dupont feeds it to the forwards. And they'll carry for a little bit just to give them some protection. Dupont sends it up. Oh, where's that bouncing? Bouncing to the hands of England. Knocked on by France actually in the process. So advantage to England. My voice is going. 3 watch-alongs in a day is not the greatest idea in the world, but it only happens once a year. So, and maybe at Rugby World Cup time. Lots of kicking at the minute. France with the ball just inside their own half here. Antoine Dupont marshalling his troops. As long as France can keep England pinned in their own half, then they can do this all day, this kicking game, all day long. It's a little bit too long from Dupont. Chance for Marcus Smith potentially to do something. Lovely ball into the hands of Henry Slade, but good covering tackle from Villiers. Simmons picks it up. Advantage, though, again to England. High tackle this time. Again, France, little inaccuracies creeping in here. The kick from Dupont was too long. And then Marcus Smith just held his line. Dante was way too flat. And it's a high tackle, I think, from Villiers. It might be Wout. I think it's Villiers. Yeah, Villiers. High tackle on George Furbank. No yellow or anything like that. Just a seatbelt tackle. But 7.5 minutes to go until half time now. France leading still by 11 points to 6. And a couple of bruised bodies out there. The game is at a quicker pace than I thought it'd be. It's a lot more open than I thought it'd be for England specifically. And both sets of players taking a minute just to get some water together. Don't forget at half time, I'll take a quick 2-minute break. We'll be back to discuss the first half. Get your thoughts in, of course, on the other 2 games today. Italy, of course, getting a historic win against Wales as a Welshman. We did a watch along for that one and it was interesting. But we'll have a chat about that at half time. And of course, then Ireland getting the job done against Scotland. I thought Scotland were woeful in that game. I thought they were really bad. Really bad. I thought that was their worst performance of the Six Nations by quite a distance, actually. I don't think they've been very good at all, the Six Nations, which may be a little bit controversial. But that is how I see it. Scrum here for France, but it went straight down. And they'll have a reset, which is what we always love in rugby. Good attacking position here for France, just inside their own half. They've got Untamak right behind the scrum, Villiers to the left. They've got Dante and Foucault in the middle. Plenty of options here. It is a good game, Connor. Hope you're doing well. Big scrum here from France. Advantage to France at the scrum. And I think they're going to play for the penalty here. And they will get the penalty. I think Ben Youngs was offside, to be honest. Big scrum from Antonio. France, a little bit of dominance in the scrum so far. And a chance here for Untermacht to send this one down. Even if France were to get 3 points before half-time, just have that little bit more breathing space, I think they would be pretty comfortable then. They go, oh, wow. Jaminet is going to take this on. He's inside his own half, probably about 2-3 meters inside his own half. I know he's got the distance, but does he have the accuracy? Yeah, I think it'd be very good and interesting indeed. I think if Jaminet can slot this penalty, then it gives him a little bit more breathing space. You know, they're then 7 points ahead. 8 points ahead. I'm afraid I can't share any links with you, mate, but as this comment said here, I'm not going to read it, but it's there. Then you can find it that way, I'm sure. Right, Jaminet with a kick slightly to the left or the middle of the park. He steps up. Oh, he's pulled it horribly wide. He had the distance, no doubt about the distance, but certainly not the accuracy. So 4.5 minutes to go in this first half. France leading by 11 points to 6. I don't think that's the worst decision in the world, to be honest, because you're putting England back in their own half, and also you're wasting a bit of time until half time. If you get 3 points, it's brilliant. Just keep the scoreboard ticking if you're France. Make it, because England don't look like scoring like a load of tries, do they? Roman Untermacht, who's had a really quiet game so far. Aldridge, who's had a very busy game so far. France on their own 10-meter line off the restart from England. Serial by carries Untermacht into Dante. Into Antonio. Itoje's managed to rip it. That's a hell of a rip from Itoje. Chance here potentially for England. Martian carries. Ben Youngs gets it out. Ellis Genge into Marcus Smith. That's forward. I thought that pass was forward from Marcus Smith. Marcus Smith, though, gets it out. Here comes Elliot Daly. Henry Slade. France have turned it over, though. Hell of a turnover. Why they're trying to play with the advantage, but penalty to France for a slap down from England. 3.5 minutes to go till half time. If you're France, I think you just stick this as far down the field as you can and then just see what happens until half time. Then, you know, if you can get a penalty, great. If you can't, doesn't matter. There is only 5 points in it, though. So it is very, very close. Yeah, slapped down by Will Stewart. Potentially could say a deliberate knock on, but I did, didn't I? Not in the Wales-Italy game, I didn't. We'll chat about that at half time as well, because I got to give credit to Italy. They were brilliant, I thought. France do win the line. It's a little bit scrappy. Ficou into Dante, pushing towards the 22 now. Ripped out by England, but it's there for France still. As Marchand goes forward. Dupont into Wilhelm. He's had a really quiet game so far. We haven't seen him with ball in hand at all. Dupont tries to go alone. Deep into the 22 now. Nicky Secure has turned it over for England. Huge turnover for England. Chance here then for England to potentially counter-attack. Ball out wide to Freddie Stewart. Tackled on the 10-meter line in their own half here. Mario Itoje carries. Ben Youngs will look to clear this, you'd think. Gets it back to Marcus Smith, who looks for the cross kick. Someone needs to come across. It's really well taken by Jaminet, who comes across and takes control of the situation. And Marchand gets it out. France on the halfway line here. 1.5 minutes to go. Until half-time. Dupont, Saint-Mac, Ficou. There's options out wide here. Gabian Villiers is in acres of space. He's got options inside. Anthony Gelong into the 22 now. France about 10 metres short here. Jaminet steps inside. Needed to get the pass out. There's options out wide, but it's knocked on by Wilhelms. Oh, it's gone backwards. That's a big call from Jaco Pipe if he thinks that's gone backwards. The ball has really slowed down, though. Aldreitz flicks it out the back. It's still there for France, though, but really, really slow. Do you know what would not be the worst option here? Is a drop goal. If you can get Ntamack in the space that he needs, a drop goal here is not the worst option in the world. Marchand picks and goes. Antoine Dupont offloads to Aldreitz. Aldreitz sets it back. Dupont's there to give it into Ntamack. Ntamack, lovely hand. Robert Ntamack for the line. Oh, he's tackled 1 metre short. Aldreitz tries to go alone. He thinks he's got it down on the line. France think they've scored. Oh, I don't know if he's got this down. They're going to have a look at it. I have no idea if they've got this down. It's not Aldreitz who thinks he's got it down. It's Gross who thinks he's got it down. We need to have a look at this. The try on my screen has been given, but I think they probably will have a look at this. It's just lovely offloading from France. It really is. Gabian Villiers as well. I would be surprised if they don't have a look at this. I think they probably need to. It's just the grounding that I'm not sure about how that's happened, how that's come about. Here we go. So Gross picks it up. He drives, and he reaches out. I think that's fine. I don't see anything wrong with that. And there's nothing wrong with it. And the try is given. France lead here by 16 points to 6. Chance for Melvin Jaminet to add the 2 points as the first half draws to a close. He kicks. It looks pretty good, and it is good. And France at half-time lead here by 18 points to 6. That is the half-time score. At half-time, France lead here, as I said, by 18 points to 6. I'm going to take a quick 2-minute break here on the channel. I'm going to go to the toilet, make a new cup of tea. Don't go anywhere, folks. Make sure, as always, to let me know your thoughts in the chat as how the game has gone so far, of course. And also, make sure to like the stream if you're on YouTube or Facebook. Like the stream, subscribe it on YouTube if you're new. And, of course, like and follow the pages on Twitch and Facebook. I will be back in a second to have a look at your comments and also to have a chat about the other games from today. I will see you in just a second. Don't go anywhere. There we go. We are back. It is half time in this one. France are leading England by 18 points to 6 so far. And what a day this could be for French rugby, isn't it? It really has been a fantastic tournament for them so far. But in terms of this game, it's been a really interesting one. If you're French, I'd be really interested to know. And even as neutrals, what do you make of this French performance? It seems as if there were moments where they were losing it a little bit, where they were ill-disciplined, creeping in, but they seem to have been able to wrestle control. And that try at the end of the first half might be the try to win them the Grand Slam. And let's have a chat about some of the other games today. Make sure to get your thoughts in the chat on what we do talk about. The first game of the day, I'm Welsh, right? So here we go, okay? So the first game of the day saw Italy win for the first time ever in Cardiff, win against Wales for the first time since 2007, and end a 37-game losing streak in the Six Nations by beating Wales in Cardiff for the final play of the game, winning in Cardiff by 22 points to 21. What an incredible result for Italian rugby. And before I get into my thoughts on Wales, I've got to congratulate Italy. Italy were the better team. They deserve to win. This music is really doing my head in. Let's change it. It's a bit too thingy bob for me. Yeah, credit has to go to Italy. They were the better team on the day. They absolutely deserved to win. They had a real obvious game plan, the way they wanted to play. They backed themselves. They kept going. There were moments in the game where it looked like they were going to slip away, but they got themselves back together. And then young Capuzzo, only 22 years old, with that incredible run, and then Padovani on his inside to finish. It was a brilliant finish for them. Obviously, as a Welshman, wasn't the greatest moment of my life, but Italy deserved to win. For Wales, honestly, it was shocking. I was just talking to my dad before I started this watch along, and the two words that we both used was there's no game plan. That's three words, but there is no game plan from Wales on what to do. And when things get tough, we don't seem to know what to do. When the plan A doesn't work, which we don't often seem to have a plan, doesn't work, they always, we just don't have a plan B. We don't know what to do. And it's going to be really interesting over the next few days to see what Wayne Pivac truly says about performance. Do I think he's going to get sacked? No, I don't think he will. I think he will keep his job. Do I think he should go? If there was an obvious replacement, then yes, I think he should go. If there's an obvious replacement. Let's say a Scott Robertson came available. You snap him up straight away. You just get him in. Honestly, I just think you have to at that point. But I don't really know who's available. Let's say like a Pat Lam was to leave Bristol or something like that. Maybe then you look at something like that. But I can't see it happening, unfortunately. But he's got a lot of experience doing Stephen Jones as an attack coach. I haven't seen anything. I've not seen anything to convince me that we have a plan going forward. It seems like if a driving maul doesn't work, today the plan was give it to Louis Rees-Zammit. And he actually had a lot of joy today. But you've got to credit Italy, a huge win for them. Massively deserved it. They dominated at the breakdown. I thought Fischetti and Lamaro at the breakdown were ridiculous today. And we really struggled. Really struggled, and congratulations to Italy. The other game obviously was this one as Ireland took on Scotland in the Six Nations. Ireland winning this one eventually by 26 points to 5, claiming the Triple Crown. So congratulations to Irish fans. Of course, you'll have a lot running on this game, hoping that England can do something against France, but so far it doesn't look like it's going to happen. It wasn't the greatest game to watch at all in the first half. Really scrappy game. Lots of mistakes, lots of knock-ons, lots of errors. But Scotland, oh my word, they were horrific today. Really bad. And I got quite a few mates who are Scottish who watch Scotland quite often. A lot of them calling for Townsend to go. And I know there's a lot of big rugby pundits out there. Jim Hamilton, whether you listen to him or not, put a poll on Twitter about whether Townsend should go or not. And I think he's of the opinion that potentially they should be on their way out. I just think there's a lot of problems at Scotland. The mentality is wrong. The whole situation, obviously, with those players who went and breached team protocol. Some of them were allowed to play today. Some of them weren't. Some of them were released to their club. Some started, some were on the bench. It seemed like there's a lot of lack of authority at Scotland at the minute. And that would really concern me as a Scot if I was Scottish. It would really concern me. This was the Six Nations where you thought you got all your best players together. Everyone is fit, pretty much raring to go. You start with a win against England. You didn't play great, but you got the win. And then you go to Cardiff to face Wales, who were absolutely shambolic against Ireland the week before. And you put in a pretty poor performance. I think there's a lot of questions got to be asked about Scotland and Gregor Townsend. The big thing about these coaches at the minute is nobody's going anywhere, are they? Because we're 18 months away from a World Cup. If this had happened a year ago for Scotland and for Wales, I wouldn't be surprised if someone would have said, right, Pivac has to go or Townsend has to go. For me, with Pivac, the problem is the lack of game plan. I haven't seen enough over the last 2 and a bit years to convince me that the transition from Gatland style to this style is working. I haven't been convinced yet, and that is my biggest issue, is I haven't been convinced. And then with Townsend, he's been there for a very long time. He survived the World Cup in 2019, which was an absolute horror show, by the way. So there's a lot of questions. I know there's a lot of Scottish fans who aren't happy right now. Let's have a look at some of your comments. Celia Angwe saying, go France. Hope you're doing well, Celia. I don't speak French, but I will try and find Google Translate for that. I think that's something about my top. You like my top? I think that's right. I think maybe. But France are doing brilliant. France très bien. Eddie O'Sullivan was right about Scotland. I didn't hear what he had to say. Let me know, Porter, in the chat, what he had to say. But yeah, I thought Scotland were awful today. I thought they were really, really bad. And Hogg had one chance, didn't he? Where he ran on the outside. Simply just needed to play it inside, but went alone. Whether he didn't get the call, which I can massively doubt, because I reckon the man in support would have been screaming at him to pass the ball, or he's just been selfish. That really, really is not good enough. It's really not good enough, is it? It's really not good enough. So, yeah, I can understand. Oh, camera's got a bit fuzzy. There we go. I can understand Scotland fans. As a Welsh fan, you know, it's tough. It's tough because we're so close to a World Cup. We're so close to the World Cup. Like after the autumn last year, I wasn't convinced at all in the Six Nations. I haven't been convinced at all. I don't think Pivac knows his best starting 15. I really don't. So yeah, it's a tough one. But tomorrow night we are planning on doing a forum on my YouTube channel where you can jump in, you can have your say on the Six Nations as a whole for your country. You can rant, you can rave, as long as you keep it fairly PG, then it's all good. But yeah, I'll set that up and I'll put it on the community tab and on my social so you can get involved in that. So you get to talk with me about your team and what's happened. Who do I support? I'm a Wales fan, but at club level, I'm an Ospreys fan. So that is who I support. But yeah, so as a Wales fan, it's not been the greatest day. Second half, all England. I just don't see where England get their tries. That's the reality. If France get a third try at the start of the game, it could be pretty ugly for England. It really could, because whenever France have come forward, especially at the beginning of the game, they were just breaking through way too easily. And there were moments where I was thinking, this could get pretty ugly. France didn't help themselves with their discipline, but I think they sort of sorted that out towards the end of the first half. And of course, that try at the end will just give them that little bit more breathing space that they need. 12-point lead at half time. I think it's going to be enough for them. But if they come out, get a try before 50 minutes, it could be really, really difficult for England. For England, they just got to try and make it difficult for France, kick their penalties. I just don't see where they score their tries from. I just don't see where they get their tries from. How many tries have England scored this Six Nations? I doubt they've scored all that many. England have scored. So England have only scored 7 tries in this year's Six Nations. That's the second worst behind Italy. So you can see their big problem is they don't score tries. They do not score tries, unfortunately, for England. I mean, let's have a quick look at the table. This isn't updated. I don't think so. Let me share my screen quickly with you. So this is how the table currently looks. Obviously, Ireland are on top, but currently France would be on top. France have actually scored 2 tries. So France has scored 26 tries in this tournament and have only conceded 4. Look at that for England. Only 7 tries scored, 9 conceded. Scotland have scored 11 but conceded 15. Wales have scored 8 but conceded 8. So Scotland have just, you know, they throw the ball around nicely, but they don't defend very well at all. But credit has to go to Italy for that performance. You can see what England's problem is. They just don't score enough tries, do they? Right, we're all set for the second half. Let me know how you think the second half is going to go. Hit the like button, subscribe if you're on YouTube. If you're on Facebook, hit the follow button, of course. And let's get all set for the second half. Can France finish the job? Can they get the Grand Slam? That is the big question. Marcus Smith is all set to get us underway. And off we go for the second half. France 18, England 6. Straight from kickoff. I think that's been knocked on by France. There's going to be an early scrum here to England, which will be the perfect start for them. Did Elliot Daly knock that forward first? Not sure. Samuel Baptiste is supporting France. Bonjour. Ça va? Hope you're enjoying the game. Let's see if you can hold on for the victory. England have been bad, need to drop the kick in all the time. They just haven't scored enough tries, have they? They really have not scored enough tries. That is their biggest problem. France, 8 handling errors compared to England's 1. That's because France just want to offload. They want to speed the game up, don't they? But sometimes you just got to do the simple things. Interesting. I think it's an interesting debate because if you look at history doesn't lie in terms of the quarterfinals. I'll get back to your comment in a second. We'll just watch this phase of play as England come forward. Elliot Daly into the 22 for England. Advantage to England. Gail Fickou offside. Chance here for England. Start the second half on a positive. Marcus Smith's going to look for the cross kick. It's not a bad kick. Looking for Jamie George, but he can't hold on to him and come back for the original penalty. You said last week that Ireland can't handle pressure because of World Cup quarter-final failure, which I thought was unfair. Look, I think Ireland are getting better with pressure, like they beat the All Blacks, obviously, in the autumn. I think the problem for Ireland, maybe the word pressure isn't right, but they seem to peak at the wrong times. So before last World Cup, they peaked in 2017 when they beat the All Blacks, didn't they? That was when they were at their pinnacle. They beat the All Blacks in Chicago. It was incredible. But it came to the World Cup, they just weren't at their peak. That is something that New Zealand are very good at doing, is peaking at the right times for a World Cup. England are actually going to the corner here. Marcus Smith turning down the 3 points. In terms of quarterfinals, histories don't lie. History does not lie. And that's just how it is in terms of quarterfinals. Whether that's still the case, I don't know. I don't obviously study the Irish game as much as I do the Welsh one, but until that changes, until they get over that hoodoo, I don't see it happening. It's like Wales couldn't win at Twickenham for 27 years, and until we got over that hoodoo, it's such an issue for us. Now when we go to Twickenham, we tend to be fairly competitive. Monsieur Barami is in the Charlie Le Bleu. Indeed. Driving ball here from England, but it's really well done by France to bring it down legally. 3 minutes into the second half. England about 7 meters out here. Pick and go for the forwards. The last time France were going for Grand Slam, they lost to Italy in the final match. Didn't know that. Let's see if history repeats themselves. England here coming forward. Sam Simmons. Into Will Stewart. Well tackled by Cameron Wackey. 5 phases deep here. Corny Laws comes in. Good tackle on him by Jalonk and by Bailly. France thought they'd turned it over. They hadn't. Underhill's drop that has gone forward. And it's going to be a scrum here to France. What defence from France. I mean, the problem is for England, they just don't score enough tries. They just don't score enough tries. And they don't look like scoring tries. They go through the phases. They don't get over the gain line. Then it's like, what do we do now? Our big players aren't getting us over the gain line. So what do we do now? I'm an Ulster fan, but I love all the provinces. I think at the end of the day, if you're an Irish fan, if you're a Welsh fan, if you're a Scottish fan, especially, in the end of the day, you want all your regions to do well, or all your provinces to do well, because it benefits the national side. That's not historically true, really, in Wales, but in Ireland, especially, the way that the Irish teams play, it's got a little bit of everything, really. You know, you got the power of Munster and Leinster up front in the Irish team. You got the backs and the flair that you have with Ulster and Connacht. You got the speed of ball, which every province does so well. That's very true. That's very true. Yeah, absolutely. That's true. We haven't beaten New Zealand since 1953 or 1957, maybe. So, yeah, we got a hoodoo. We can't beat the All Blacks at the minute. We can't do it. We can't do it. And it doesn't help playing them outside of test windows when you haven't got your best team out. But I guess it gives the Welsh Reunion like a mill, something like that. I'm English, but I support Ireland. Interesting. Ireland have not peaked. I'm not saying that they peaked this year. I'm not saying that they peaked yet. But in the past, they peaked too early. They peaked too early in the past. The challenge is this year, over the next 18 months, can they continue to build? And I love the transformation that this Irish team have had in the way that they attack. They've kept what Joe Schmidt did so well by getting that quick ball, being very forward orientated. But then Andy Fowler's added the element of unleashing the backs, having that Sexton on the wraparound, the likes of Hugo Keenan at fullback, James Lowe, and now you've got Mark Hansen on the wing, who's developed into a brilliant winger. And so if you are, you know, Irish, there's a lot to be positive about. There's a lot of kicking going on at the minute between both teams. We're 6 minutes into the second half, still 18 points to 6. England really struggling to break this French team down. But France not being proactive in going for the win, I don't feel. That's been kicked out on the full. France keep it alive, though. Wow. Antoine Dupont sends it back down. Marcus Smith with plenty of time here. France a little bit all over the place in terms of their defence. They need to be careful here. England just inside their own half. Have the France managed to turn that over? No. Ben Youngs is there. Ireland are Papa's team. They are. You know, in my opinion, they're probably... Oh, England offside, I think. Or France offside. France offside, sorry. I think France is probably the best team in the world right now. I still have to say you have to throw the likes of New Zealand, South Africa in there, but you certainly have Ireland in that conversation. I don't think you have Scotland and Wales in that conversation anymore at all. I'd probably say Australia are ahead of Scotland and Wales in their development right now, even though recent results would differ, and say my argument doesn't make much sense. Come on, England, do Ireland a favour. I think every Irish fan would love that at the minute. Look, though, if England get a try, the pressure completely switches. Pressure completely switches on this French team. England haven't put this France team under enough pressure. So they have a line out just outside the 22 here. They do win it. Good step from Ben Youngs. Inside ball here to Joe Martian. Lovely work from him. A huge tackle on him from Damien Penaud. England do manage to get it out. Marcus Smith looks. Elliot Daly's there. One more ball surely to Freddie Stewart on the wing. Has he got there? I think he has. I think Freddie Stewart has scored for England. I'm not sure if they're going to need to look at this. But on the whole, I think he scored. I think England have scored here, which, as I said, would make it very, very interesting. And Freddie Stewart, I think, has scored in the corner. Ben Youngs here. Lovely delay on the pass. Joe Martian straight to the middle. It's actually a really good covering tackle from Joe Martian and Aldreet. Not Joe Martian, Damien Penaud and Aldreet. The ball comes wide. And they just go through the phase and get it out wide. And Freddie Stewart scores in the corner for England. I think everything is okay. Yeah, everything looks fine in terms of the grounding. Certainly in touch in the field of play. And the grounding is absolutely fine. And England here are certainly back in it. As I said, Stewart got the try. As I said, England, if they got one try, the pressure completely switches. It's about how France going to react now. Big kick this from Marcus Smith. So at the minute, it's a 7-point gap. Kyle Sinclair's on for England, by the way, for Will Stewart. Marcus Smith with a huge kick. Oh, it's beautifully bent in by Marcus Smith. England up to 13. It's a 5-point game now. And suddenly the game has certainly turned on its head. The pressure is on France. How are France going to respond with 30 minutes to go in this one? And that's really the first time we've seen England get a good run up the middle, open the space up and go wide. That's the first time we've seen that. Changes here for France. We'll run you through them as we go. But 30 minutes to go in this one. As Roman Untamak gets us underway. And England with a chance to clear here. So these are the confirmation of the change. Will Stewart off for Kyle Sinclair for England. Box kick by Ben Youngs. Has he overkicked it? Good take by Jaminet, but he's pushed into touch. Yeah, one converted try. That's it for England to take the lead in this one. Paul Willems is off. Romain Taufa has come on. So that change gone through for France. We're getting pretty slow updates here on who is going on, who is going off. Julien Marchand is off as well for France. Pietro Mavaca is on. And Cyril Bay is off for Jean-Baptiste Gross. So those are the changes for France. Good driving maul here from England and advantage to England as well. France, are they beginning to crumble here at the Stade de France? And they'll come back for the original penalty coming in at the side there of the maul. Really just stupid penalty that. It's a really stupid penalty to give away. There's just no need. Because at the end of the day, what is Ben Youngs going to do there? He's in it just outside his own 22. He's just going to box kick it away. He's going to give you possession. Or he's going to come out to Mark Smith, who's just going to hoof it downfield. So you're just giving England better field position with a good driving maul. Needs to be leaders now for France. Really important that there's some leadership here now. That says just calm it down, go back to basics, and we'll just calm this momentum down that England seem to have. Line out here to England. Oh, they don't go for the driving maul. Interestingly, ball out here. Looking for Joe Marchant again, but he's absolutely mauled down by Jalonk. Marcus Smith. Looking for the kick is Henry Slade. A little bit wasteful. I mean, it's going to be a line out to France just inside their own 22, but a little bit wasteful. Again, if I was French, if I was the head coach, if I was Galtier, I would simply be saying, just get a bit of the ball, go through a few phases, kick the ball into their territory, make them play in their own half a bit, and begin to try and control the game. Second half possession, we've seen it here. England have had 80% possession. France have only had 20%. They just need the ball. They just need the ball. Because when they have the ball in hand, it sounds stupid, but if you have the ball, you can score a try, right? And we know that this French team have the ability to absolutely do that. Dupont clears it from the driving maul downfield. Not the greatest kick. Straight hands of Freddie Stewart, who sends it up. And he's got height on this French side. Goes up for his own kick, claims it beautifully. Into the 22 England now. Chance here. Henry Slade gets it out to Jamie George. Good hands here from England. Good pace. France are not helping themselves here. It's a really loose pass from Dupont. Sam Simmons cuts inside, tackled though. I'm a Wales fan. I'm a Welshman. Good defence here though from France. We do have a game on our hands, indeed we do, Connor. France, we knew England were going to come strong in this game. You always knew that was going to be the case. It was very much about, can France deal with that pressure for the 10, 15 minutes that England may have in this game? So far, the defence is holding up okay in this passage of play. I think they might have turned that one over as well. And they have, and it's a huge turnover. It's an absolutely huge turnover. 55 minutes gone. What a turnover from Gael Ficou. If England scored there, you'd worry for France. And that's a huge turnover. You're from Argentina. Where can I watch the match for free? Juan, you can watch it on ITV here in the UK. If you download a free VPN, you can catch it there. I'm sure there are streams online that you can find, but unfortunately, I can't show you the game at all, just due to copyright reasons. How are you going for England or France? I still think France is going to win. I think that turnover from Gael Ficou is huge. I think it's massive. So the momentum of England was going. And as I said, England just need France. So I just need to play in the England half a bit. Even go through the phases. Do you know what I mean? I'll drop a link to ITV's website in the chat now for you, Juan. You'll need a VPN to change your destination. So the link's in the chat now, but you will need a VPN. Hawass has come on for France as well. That's all good, Juan. That's all good. Hope you managed to find. If not, just stick around here, listen to my commentary. France off the line out though, heading towards the 22 here. Untermack. Oh, it's a poor pass, but Villiers will pick it up. Lovely step from Villiers here. Really good work from him. France just outside the 22 now. Towel for Fuena. Ficou. Oh, lovely from France. Oh, they haven't managed to keep it going. Back in hands of Gael Ficou. One-handed run. One hand on the ball. Beautiful stuff. Aldridge carries. France just need to calm it down. Just need to go through the phases now. Just be simple. Simple. Just go through the phases. And there's been an obstruction running into the referee there. So we'll have a pause in play here. Just under 24 minutes to go here. France are a little bit too much at the minute. It's just calm it down. Go through the phases. Just be patient. Even if you go through a few phases and nothing comes off, you kick it. Doesn't really matter. Just calm yourself down in the game. That's what I would be suggesting right now. Not long to go now then. Scrum here though to France. Middle of the park, just over the halfway line, just over the 10-meter line, sorry, in the English half. Brilliant base to attack off. Some hot potato being played. Indeed. Hi, Joseph. Hope you're doing well. Greetings from Flagstaff, Arizona. Nice. Nice commentary, man. Hey, glad you're enjoying it. Glad you're enjoying the rugby. Do you watch MLR? I try and catch a bit of MLR when I can. Let me know if you can't keep that. Connor, I don't think I've ever seen an Irishman cheer on England so much. I don't think I've ever seen that before. And Neil as well, wanting Ireland to win the Six Nations, of course. We're heading towards the final 20 minutes now. France have had the dominance at the scrum. I think they still need another converted try. I really do. But a really good position here to build off. So 20 minutes ago in the Six Nations of 2022, what a Six Nations has been, not if you're Welsh, which I am. But don't forget, tomorrow we are going to do that fan forum on YouTube where you can jump in on the stream and let me know your thoughts on your team's performance. Going to try and get a few regulars on the channel on as well to get their thoughts and see what they've got to say. We're going to have another reset of the scrum here. So I'll try and get that forum set up for tomorrow. And you guys can jump on and have your say. Have your say on what you think's gone well, what hasn't gone well. If you're Scottish and Welsh, it might be a bit of a difficult one to talk about. My girlfriend's mum is from England. That is why I'm going for them. Well, fair enough. But also because Ireland will win the Six Nations. Finally, hopefully we'll get a good scrum here. Well, that's gone straight down. He's got to make a call. He's just going to reset it again. He has to make a call here. I think he's going to have a word with the front rows. Finally, the scrum is up and away. Antoine Dupont goes to his left side, into Mac, into Gael Ficou. Ficou into the 22 here. Into Mac. Inside here to Woki. Just outside the 22. France come forward. Damien Penaud. Oh, lovely run from Penaud. I mean, he's danced past about 4 players there. Still outside the 22, though. France need to be careful. It's slightly isolated. Again, just got to be patient. Just go through the phases here. Tao Fafwena carries. Just hope that maybe England give away penalty. Antoine Dupont into the 22. Antoine Dupont's going to score for France. And Antoine Dupont, the greatest player in the world, has scored for France. And is that the try to win France the Grand Slam? I know, Porter, you were praying and everything. But it looks that maybe France have just gone and won the Grand Slam. Antoine Dupont, the best player in the world, without a shadow of a doubt. The captain has scored for France. It's lovely work of Gregory Aldrit. He breaks the tackle, gets the offload off. And Antoine Dupont, as any good scrum half, offers a brilliant support line. And it's a brilliant finish from Antoine Dupont, who, for such a small guy, has so much strength in those legs. Just pumps those legs. And my word, what a finish from Antoine Dupont. You can question the English defence, maybe, but it's brilliant work from France. Antoine Dupont, just brilliant support line. Inside there, beats off Ellis Genge, says get off me to Freddie Stewart, and crosses as England. That might be it for England, and that might be it for Ireland, and it might be it for France. I mean, we still have 20 minutes to go, 18 minutes or so to go in this one. But Antoine Dupont, the captain of France, might just have won it for France. Jaminet is going to try and add the 2. It should be pretty comfortable for him. And it would make it a 12-point game, meaning that England really are going to have to come and play now. And that is gone over. So it's now France 25, England 13. Is that the try? Is that the score to win France the Grand Slam? Their first Grand Slam in 12 years, led, in my opinion, by the best player in the world, in Antoine Dupont. I think that might be the nail in the coffin, but they have led by 12. England have got close to them. Again, if you're French, cool heads now. If you're England, you've got to start throwing the kitchen sink. As Neil says, got to start throwing the kitchen sink now. Don't worry about your spelling, mate. It's all good. Ollie Chesham is on for England. That's a huge clearing kit from Antoine Dupont. I mean, the guy's just ridiculous, isn't he? I think that might be it for England in terms of getting into this game really now. If you're France, you just play in the right areas of the field. You look for those easy, cheap penalties that you can get, and you be simple. Nothing stupid. You don't need to go and score another try now. You don't need to. You don't need to. Although it would obviously help, but a couple of penalties probably wins you this game for you. Less than 17 minutes to go. Line out to England just on their own 10-metre line here. Won by England. Jamie George at the back of the driving wall. Begins to move slightly forward here. Referee Jakob Piper calls out for once. Ben Youngs has been caught here. Very dangerous position for him to be. But eventually he does get the support and there'll be a chance here to clear. Chance here then for Ben Youngs to clear this one down the field for England. Where's that bouncing? France win it. Wacky. Just inside the England half here. Antoine Dupont tries to kick it. It's been charged down, but he manages to collect his own kick. And he needs the support, which he gets. Folks, if you're just joining, if you're watching on YouTube, please do hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel as we push towards 3,000 subs. And if you're watching on Facebook or on Twitch, please do follow the page. And we're going to be doing lots of watch-alongs over the course of the domestic season. Of course, then we got the summer internationals. And we're really, really looking forward to them. Line out here to France then. Big chance. And don't forget tomorrow, we are going to do that fan forum. I'm going to get it all set up. So you'll be able to join me and get involved in that. And let me know your thoughts on your team's performance this Six Nations. I think the other team we have to talk about, I mean, we're talking about Scotland and Wales having disappointing campaigns. What about England? I mean, losing 3 games in the Six Nations. For the team that England are, the resources that they have, the history in the game that they have, the infrastructure that they have, the league that they have, they should not be losing 3 games on the bounce. 3 games in the Six Nations. They should not be doing that. They really shouldn't be doing that. We just saw Don Brandt come on and Joe Marler come on. Ellis Genge is off. As well, Ben Youngs is off. Harry Randall has also come on. So England have emptied the bench. Sam Underhill is the one going off for Don Brandt. So you think Don Brandt would go to 7. France here. Oh, it's back turned to Mac. Jaminet's in the pocket. It's a woeful drop kick attempt. I didn't really think that was necessary, to be honest. I would have just kept the ball in hand. But they managed to kick it downfield regardless. Into the hands of Harry Randall. He's got a bit of spark about him. Sends it up. He's massively overkicked that. Plenty of time for Jaminet, who looks up. Tries to go alone. He needs to be careful here not to get isolated. Ball is there for France. And Dupont manages to clear it. It's a hell of a boot from him. Is he going to go all the way dead? It is. Oh, he's overcooked it. He's absolutely overcooked it. You could have said maybe Courtney Laws was late on him, but that is a poor mistake from Antoine Dupont. And we'll come all the way back to just about the 10-metre line. So less than 14 minutes to go. Courtney Laws has injured himself in tackling Dupont there. So we're going to have a scrum here to England on the French 10-metre line, just over it. 13 tackles made for Dupont is just ridiculous as a scrum half, isn't it? Just ridiculous. So scrum here to England. What time will the fan forum be tomorrow? Should we say 8 PM UK time? Should we say 8 PM? I'm going to message a few friends, see if they will jump on and help as well. And it'll either be 8 p.m. or 7 p.m. UK time. I'll put it on the community tab. If you subscribe to the channel here of BS Rugby, then you'll be notified when we go live. I'd love to get you folk on. Lots of you have been watching for a long time. I know that. Big scrum here from England, by the way. They get the advantage. Oh, a bit of confusion between Marcus Smith and Marsh in there. Yeah, I know a lot of you have been watching for a very long time. And I'd love to get you guys on and just chance for you to say what you think, of course. Give you a voice and let you know, and let you guys say what you think about your performance. You may feel like it's been a successful Six Nations. You may want to raise a point on a young player that's come through. You may want to raise a point on some of the refereeing decisions. I think concussion has been a massive issue in this year's Six Nations. So yeah, it's been a great competition, hasn't it? It really has been. England sticking in the corner, 12 minutes to go. They're trailing by 12. France 11 and a half minutes away from a Grand Slam. I'll get that fan forum either set up tonight or tomorrow morning, and then you'll be able to join with that. And I'll see if I can get a couple of people on for that. Line out won by England, though, driving more set up. Jamie George at the back. And if they were to score and get a converted try, advantage here from the maul for France, and for England, sorry. So chance for them to try and make something happen. Bounces into the hands of Henry Slade. I'm sure that went forward off an English hand. And we'll come back for the original penalty. I mean, if you're English, you just stick this in the corner, collapsing the maul. 10 and a half minutes to go in this one. Marcus Smith's going to stick it in the corner, though. They had the advantage, didn't they? So they were trying something, I think. That's what it was. I think the Stormers will win pretty comfortably, to be honest. That's a midday kickoff, isn't it? Yeah, I think the Stormers will win pretty comfortably. Cardiff's team isn't all that strong. And it'll be should be quite a comfortable victory for the Stormers, I think. I think the teams have struggled in South Africa with the altitude and everything as well. And with the temperature, of course, it's pretty hot in South Africa. It's the end of their summer right now, isn't it? I mean, right now in Johannesburg, it's midnight and it's 20 degrees there. And then tomorrow, it's going to be at midday. It's going to be 21 degrees. So it is pretty hot over there. Yeah, a score is needed here for England. If England don't score here, difficult for them. Line out 5 meters out, though, for England. They're going to go with the driving maul. France have struggled to defend that in this game. We are heading towards the final 10 minutes here. Jamie George fires it in. It's won by Ollie Chesham. Driving maul setup goes straight down, though. France think they've managed to turn this one over. Ball is there, though, for England. 5 minutes out. Good maul defense from England, from France. Really, really good there. Harry Randall. Oh, into big run from England. Has he got it down? I don't think he's got that down. I think he's held it up. I think it's been held up. I think it's been held up. Was it Ollie Chesham on the angle? I don't think he's got this down. The England players aren't acting as if he's got this down. I think Pano was under him. And yeah, I think it's been held up. If you're Jaminet here and you're taking this restart, I'm afraid I can't give you a link. The only place I know that it's on in the UK is ITV. So if you use the ITV hub, you can use it there. 9 minutes to go. Yeah, if you're Jaminet here with your own goal, in-goal dropout, you see one of the French players try and put contact lenses. I'm afraid I can't help you, Raphael. I'm sure there are some websites that you can find if you look hard enough, my friend. Come on, the French. Vincent, bonjour. Not long to go now. This could be a historic night. If you're Jamine, you're twatting the crap out of that ball. England are going to have to go from their own half. Alex Donbrand, don't let him get any speed if you're French. Oh, you got to roll, you got to roll, you got to roll. He has. Harry Randall trying to find the penalty there, but told that he can't get it. He box kicks it. Has he overcooked it? Oh, France just about get it back. Roman and Mac just about holding on to it. Does well. Needs support though. Can't get isolated. And penalty to France. Offside from England, I think, maybe. A little bit of back chat as well. Causing them problems. That's all right. Well, stick around here anyway. And I'll keep you up to date, Raphael. More changes for France then. As we head towards the final 8 minutes, France leading by 12 here. Francois Gross, of course, the try scorers off for Dylan Cretin, or Dylan Cretin. He's probably got the best name in rugby. Cameron Wackey's off for Thibaut Flamand. Cameron Wackey, what a player he has been. What a player he has been. I'll be surprised if England get anything. I mean, if they were to have scored then, the pressure really would have been on France. And there were points in the game where you felt like France were falling away and were feeling the pressure. This is a really big scrum, though. Scrum on the 22. They just need to get a good clearance on this, get this down the field. Ideally, get a penalty off this scrum if they can, and then just hoof it down the field. Time check, Gavin. We are 72 minutes and 30 seconds in. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. There you go. So 72:30. So 7.5 minutes to go. We're having another reset of the scrum. Interestingly, the clock has not stopped for the resets of the scrum. So make of that what you want. Antoine Dupont's going to look to feed this one in. If you're French, you want a penalty off this scrum. If you're English, you want a penalty off this scrum. That's what you're looking for here. I mean, Harry Randall can't be standing there. And France managed to get it away. Are they going to try and run it? No, Jamine puts boot to ball and puts a monstrous kick in. What a kick that is from Melvin Jamine. Huge kick from him. And puts England back into their own half. Not long to go now. Folks, if you haven't done so already, please do hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. And if you're on Facebook or on Twitch, make sure to give it a like and a follow. And as I've said already, we're going to do a fan forum tomorrow. It'll either be 7 or 8 p.m. I'll keep you up to date on the channel with what we do. Chat your chance to have your say on your team. And you can have your say on who you think's been the best player, what you think of your coach, what do you think, just your opinion on the competition as a whole. Maybe you're disappointed as a Scotsman or a Welshman. Maybe you're ecstatic as a Frenchman if you do go on to win this Grand Slam. Maybe you're Irish and you feel like it's a little bit of a missed opportunity. It's your chance to have your say live on the channel. Oh, lovely kick over the top from Marcus Smith. Where's the bounce of the ball going? Antoine Dupont has got it. France just need to calm things down here. 5 minutes and 50 seconds to go until they'll be crowned as Grand Slam champions. They just need to play it simple here. Nothing silly. Jamine sends it down. Caught by Marcus Smith just outside his own 22. He's got a Furbank on his right. France look a little bit tired here. Huge tackle coming in there by Dupont, who I'm sure Dupont's put nearly 20 tackles in this game. Advantage to England, though. Penalty to England. Harry Randall takes it quick. Gives it into Henry Slade. Ooh, that might have been a bit high from France. Chesham carries. England just outside the 22 here. 5 minutes to go now. Joe Martian, who's looked lively today. England still trying to knock at the door here. Just outside the 22 now. Jamie George into the 22. Pick and go from Carl Sinclair makes them a few meters. Harry Randall switches the direction of play. Marcus Smith looking for the grubber through. Who's going to get onto it? Gabian Villiers does really, really well to claim it. And he's going to go off on a run here, trying to run it from his own 22. What's he doing? Calm it down. And then clear. French ball here. 4.5 minutes to go. I mean, you want to give this to Jaminet and you want him to twat this as far as he can. Dupont takes over the responsibility. To be honest, it isn't the greatest box kick. It's staying in field for George Furbank, who spreads it out wide here to Elliot Daly. The French defence looks fairly set. Aldrich, who's had another incredible game for France, puts in the tackle. England outside the 22 again. Marcus Smith inside to Joe Marler. Harry Randall. Slow here for England. Only Chesham carries. Oh, Malvaka Dante trying to turn it over, and lucky. Marcus Smith looks for the pass and he's overthrown and is out. That was the chance for England. That was the chance for England there. Marcus Smith, the pass wasn't quite accurate enough. And it will be a line out to France here with 3.5 minutes to go. Could that have been the moment? I don't know if there was cover for Daly, to be honest. I'd have to see it again. George Ford is on for England. Don't really understand the point of that move at this point in the game. Don't know what he brings for England. But to be honest, I think the game's lost at this point. Really good cover work there from Villiers, by the way. So line out to France just inside the 22. I think Dupont's day is done. What a performance for him. As the crowd applauds him, he applauds them back. The best player in the world at the minute, without a doubt, in my mind. The French absolutely love him, even if he does like to wear big yellow dressing gowns. As Luku is on for France. George Furbank is off, so George Ford is on. So I don't know where everyone has gone. I'm not going to try and work it out. 3 minutes, 20 seconds to go. Marcus Smith tries to make the break. Dante tries to turn it over, but it's still there for Harry Randall, who gets it down to Simmons. Itoje carries. Itoje's had a really quiet game in comparison to his levels. England going through the phases here. Trying to get forward. 5 phases deep here. Ball out wide to Itoje on the left-hand side. Knocked on by England, though. And it's going to be a scrum to France here with 2.5 minutes gone. I think that's going to be that for France. Some of their kicks are usually just give it back to the French. That's the thing, isn't it? And I think France would have done enough here to have won the Grand Slam for the first time in 12 years. Wow. Folks, if you're just joining, hit the like button. By the way, subscribe to the channel. It's free to do. Helps you keep up to date. We're doing a fan forum tomorrow where you'll get a chance to give your thoughts on your team, Six Nations. Antoine Dupont rightly has been named man of the match. What a performance from him. But you can come on the forum. You can tell me what you think went well for Ireland, what went poor for Wales, what went poor for Scotland, how France won the Six Nations. What does it mean to have Italy win? We're going to do that live tomorrow night, and the stream will be up and set up probably tomorrow morning. So keep an eye out on that. So subscribe, ready for that. Yeah, no need to kick all the time. I think that was a tactic that we saw really early on in this game, wasn't it, from England, where they're trying to kick a lot. Freddie Stood is a brilliant option on the edge because of his height. So they're trying to bomb it on Jaminet. That's what they're trying to do. The French win it on Paddy's weekend. Brilliant. Vincent is enjoying that. Not sure the Irish will enjoy that as much, but France have been the best team in the competition this year. They rightly deserve to be Grand Slam champions. 2 minutes away from that. Scrum for them just outside their own 22. We're going to have a lovely little reset of the scrum, which is always good fun. By the way, just want to say a massive thank you to all of you for your support over the course of the Six Nations. It's been absolutely incredible. The channel's really grown over the course of Six Nations. You've joined me for so many watch-alongs, match reviews, previews, and tactical reviews. We've had different guests on from different countries. So just want to say a massive thank you for all of your support on the channel over the course of Six Nations. We've got loads still to come in terms of the domestic season and in Europe as well. And then we've got the summer tours to look forward to. So, as I said before, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, follow my socials, all linked down below. And I massively appreciate all of you for your support. We're heading towards the final minute. Penalty here to France at the scrum. And I think Cal Sinclair has been penalised here. And we are into the final minute. I think France here are going to be crowned Six Nations champions. Not only that, but Grand Slam champions as well. There are tears in the eyes of some of the French players. They've elected to go for the scrum again. I really appreciate that. That's very kind, Richard. Cheers, Neil. That's also kind of you. But 30 seconds to go until France win the Grand Slam. I can't stop smiling because what France have been through in terms of rugby over the last few years, where they were in the doldrums, they were losing against Italy, they were struggling, you know, to beat anyone really. They were getting beaten comfortably. Didn't know which French team was going to turn up. To now be one of the most exciting teams in the world. Sean Edwards, former Wales defence coach, really happy to see him and to see what he's done. You've got some brilliant players in Antoine Dupont, Untamak, Aldreed. In the front row, you've got Barry Marchand. It's just an incredible team. Aldreed has the ball. Aldreed kicks it off. And France have won the Grand Slam for the first time since 2010. France are your Six Nations champions, are your Grand Slam champions. The final score at the start of France is France 25, England 13. Congratulations to all Frenchmen. Congratulations to everyone who is supporting France. Well deserved. Antoine Dupont is in tears, but great to see the celebrations of France and what that will do for the country as well. What an achievement for France. They are serious contenders for the World Cup in a year and a half's time. They really are, and they deservedly are Six Nations and Grand Slam champions. Wow, incredible indeed. What a Six Nations it's been. Absolutely incredible. France are crowned as champions, and what this means for France rugby will be incredible to see. They deservedly won today. They deservedly won. They're deserving to win this Six Nations. Congratulations to them. France are your Grand Slam and Six Nations champions 2022. Glad you're enjoying the content, folks. Thank you very much for all the kind words. Mark Smith is overrated, English bravado. I do like to talk about him a lot. You'd have thought England would go for the Grand Slam today. Second, not good enough. Well, Martin, if you want to jump on the what for them tomorrow, you can do that and let me know your thoughts there. Wales could have beaten New Zealand since 1953. That time All Blacks stayed in the line. Hey, tonight is not about Wales. Tonight is about France. Tonight is about their achievement. France have won the Grand Slam here, and they deservedly are your Six Nations champions. I am going to leave it there. Leonardo da Vinci, hope good to see you in the chat, my friend. Ireland for the Slam next year. Come on the forum tomorrow. Let me know your thoughts. Make sure to jump on that tomorrow. Yeah, good night, Vincent. Au revoir. And congratulations to you. I'm going to leave it there, folks. But as I said, we're going to set up the forum for tomorrow where you can come on like this with me on the screen and let me know your thoughts on your team's performance in this year's Six Nations. And also let me know anything that you want to talk about around the Six Nations is your chance. So I'll get it set up. So subscribe, like and follow all my socials, and you'll be notified of when that is going to happen. Thank you very much for watching. Take it easy. Congratulations to France and au revoir.